to everyone joining us. We have a community call today here with Index Co-op and our partners at Argent Wallet. So good morning to the US, good afternoon to Europe, good evening to Asia, and GM to you wherever you are in the world and whatever time you're watching this recording. I'm Cruz from the Index Cooperative, the ecosystem growth lead, and we have Antoine here from the Argent team.
GM, hi Cruz.
Hello. Antoine. Yeah, happy to have you guys on. Great partners of ours at Index Co-op. Argent Wallet has been one of our best partners for over a year, maybe 18 months, 2 years even, not quite sure, but happy to have you guys on to a community call here. Antoine, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so very quickly, I'm Antoine, as you said. I'm Belgian, located in Brussels. I have a business background, and as many people who studied business, I actually started my career as a management consultant, where I specialized mainly in advising telecommunication companies with their networks, 5G networks and fiber optic networks. And I mean, it's a fun fact. Don't expect too much. That I actually like to tell. Is that I see many similarities between blockchain and the telecom industry, because in both instances you basically have these communication networks. We can say that the blockchain is a communication network, and you deploy them, then you have people coming on them. At some point, usage takes off, and you have scalability issues, right? And then you need to find some ways to scale up your network. And so in the telecom industry, the way they did that is that they deployed new generation networks, which are called 5G and fiber optic networks. What we do here with blockchain is deploying these new gen networks, which are called layer 2s, basically, which will solve these issues with scalabilities and basically enable to reach mass adoption and bring as many people as possible to this awesome technology. But then I entered Web3 fully, like going full time in Jan 2022. I did a bit of Web3 consulting. I worked for a layer 2, which is a layer 1, one more, which is supposed to launch maybe in June if everything goes well. I did marketing for them. I organized some events. I also worked for a big global IP, which went into NFTs. And more recently, about 3 months ago, I joined Argent as an ecosystem lead. What that means is basically that I am the point of contact for all the dApps in the ecosystems where Argent is building. We are building on 2 blockchains, which are ZK Sync Era and ZK Sync Lite as well. But let's say ZK Sync and Starknet. And so I'm the point of contact for all these dApps. Always very happy to discuss the Argent products we have, to discuss these ecosystems, how they can grow, how they can win versus other ecosystems as well. And also always very happy to discuss account abstraction, which is a topic that we are very bullish on at Argent, and we're probably gonna have time today to discuss this a bit more in detail as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Account abstraction, always mentioned as a kind of the unlock to really improving the user experience on Ethereum. Of course, Argent's been at the lead of improving user experience of DeFi for a long time. I'll introduce myself a bit more since we're sharing this with the Argent community as well. So Cruz, or at the Young Cruz, across any socials, anywhere across the internet. I'm ecosystem growth lead at Index. So I do a lot of work in partnerships across DeFi and a bit of TradFi as well, specifically kind of trying to get our products in front of the advisor community outside of DeFi, as well as the good people of crypto Twitter and crypto LinkedIn and YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. You may see me across all of those platforms. And I do a lot of work, especially with our distribution partners. So teams like Argent Wallet, to get our quality, simple index products in the hands of all of their users. If anybody wants to feature Index Co-op products, I can be the point of contact for any wallet or dApp or distribution partner. And I also do kind of social media, marketing, PR, et cetera, across all of Index. So happy to have Argent on for our community call here. We do have a bit of some prepared slides that we can run through here as well. Standard procedures for index calls. We always start a few minutes after the hour, and when we have more and more people joining. Of course, this one is live streamed across socials, so we will go ahead and not wait too long. Yeah, housekeeping. So this stream, if you're watching it, you may be watching it on Twitter, you may be watching it on YouTube, you may be watching it on LinkedIn, across any of the Index or Argent channels. We do have a chat box here that'll pick up any comments from any platform. Good afternoon, says Olea on LinkedIn. And somebody commented back from Index Coop YouTube. So guys, drop any questions you have in the chat. If they're relevant, we can get them kind of as we progress through the sections, and some we may save for the end. Of course, like any crypto community, we have a Discord as well. We're happy to have you come into there and ask questions as well. Even have some kind of new segments in the Discord that we will open up to new folks towards the end of the call. Exciting announcement. Standard disclaimer here. Contents for informational purposes only, not legal, tax, or investment or financial advice. I will leave you to read the rest of that one on your own. And a little bit of what we're going to cover today. So we've hinted at it already a little bit. Self-custody and the hurdles to DeFi adoption. Of course, index products are meant to simplify the journey. Argent is meant to simplify the user experience. So we'll dive into the missions of Argent and Index shortly. Talk a little bit about what the partnership between Index and Argent enables, specifically the earn categories on Argent and how we think that's a really great model for wallets across the ecosystem. Talk a little bit about how zero knowledge proofs and ZK rollups kind of further the Argent product and experience. And we may step through how ICE works, how you can buy it through Argent, like so many folks have. I think Argent and ZK Sync Lite have been the leading point of sale for a number of our products in terms of kind of number of wallets, number of customers that get to touch it. So self-custody and hurdles to DeFi adoption. Of course, self-custody is kind of one of the killer features of on-chain DeFi. It's something that we've seen evidenced more and more towards the end of last year, of course, with all of the debacles at FTX and CeFi. If you're on this call, you probably have a self-custody wallet, but the UX can be a little bit difficult for some people. Antoine, I guess, do you remember back kind of your first wallet that you made? What was the journey like, and how much better is it now, using an Argent smart contract wallet?
Yeah, I mean, my first wallet, that was in 2017. It was an Electrum wallet that you had to download on your computer, and I'm not even sure. I think you could probably only purchase Satoshis and Bitcoin at that point. But yeah, so I mean, indeed, self-custody is very important, and the reason for that is that self-custody is what makes the essence of blockchain and Web3, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense to talk about decentralization, decentralized finance if there is no self-custody. And so at Argent, we believe that self-custody is something that we need to defend and that we need to protect. But we also believe that the way we do self-custody today in blockchain is broken because of something that is called seed phrases, and that makes the experience very, very difficult and actually very bad. And so we are also aware that wallets have a central role to play, because wallets are the very first interaction that users and people will have with blockchain, and that's how you get onboarded to blockchain. And so the first impression you have is very important. If the process and the onboarding is smooth, you want to go one step further. If it's difficult, you will just give up and tell the people who told you to go to blockchain that it's just a pain in the ass and you can't use that thing. And so the thing is, it's now June 2023. We are in the middle of a bear market for some time, and so I guess, Crew, that you are some kind of blockchain OG. You've been there for some time. Everybody here in the audience, which is still here today and listening to this talk, is also a power user. And so we don't really realize anymore how bad the UX in Web3 is actually, and how a problem it is, and how it's a barrier to entry for newcomers. And so I'm just asking you to imagine for one sec that you are a newcomer to blockchain. You have heard of this amazing Web3 space that enables for self-custody, decentralization, getting rid of all these intermediaries. And so you want to try that. And the first thing people will tell you to do is to download a wallet. You need a wallet, right, to access blockchain. And so probably you will download MetaMask, because today MetaMask is still the most used wallet. And even before you can use blockchain for the first time, your MetaMask, your wallet, is going to tell you that you need to safely store a seed phrase of 24 words, right? And you are basically being told that your whole financial and social identity depends on that seed phrase, that you have to hold to that seed phrase, I mean, no matter the cost, whatever the cost. And so that's a first obvious nonsense and a first obvious, I would say, problem in the UX. You want to make sure that you don't lose your seed phrase, because so much depends on it. So actually, you would like to have as many copies as possible from of that seed phrase, but at the same time, you want to make sure somebody's not going to find that seed phrase. So ideally, you shouldn't have any copy. And so if we could trust, humans, we would just keep the seed phrase there in our head somewhere, in our memory. But I mean, personally, I really can't trust myself for doing that. And so it's very difficult. How can we peacefully sleep at night knowing that so much depends on a single, seed phrase? And so, as I said, we are power users, so we don't really notice this anymore. But we have to think one step further. We need to think 3, 5, 10 years in the future. And that's also how you get through DeFi adoption, right? Because you want as many people as possible to have access to DeFi products to understand how great it is, but they need to have an easy access. And so, in my opinion, seed phrases are actually some kind of danger and some kind of a danger to self-custody, because what is the most likely to happen in the future when we'll have 1 billion users on Web3 and crypto? Will everyone simply use decentralized services and hold their seed phrase themselves? Or will they go the easy way and use centralized services, centralized exchanges, and delegate the management of their seed phrase to others? And to me, the answer is pretty clear. They will go for the second option, right? Most people, if they are not working in Web3, they just want to use DeFi products from time to time for the savings. They won't want to keep custody. I mean, they are interested in self-custody, but they don't want to keep their seed phrase by themselves, right? And so it's, of course, a very difficult topic. We have seen in the last weeks with everything that happened with the whole backlash with Ledger, that combining a seed phrase and mass adoption is actually very difficult and very complex. And so to us, the only way to combine self-custody and adoption is by getting rid of seed phrases. And so that's to come back on your question, I think that's a first step and a first improvement in the experience when you come to Web3 that you can have with Argent versus other wallets in the past, but also most wallets nowadays, is that we have a system called Guardians that makes that makes that we don't need a seed phrase anymore. You are getting rid of that seed phrase. You can free your mind and simply enjoy your Web3 journey.
Yeah, I certainly don't know that I can just trust myself to remember the seed phrase in my head as well. Doesn't let me make me sleep too well at night. Yeah, but I think one thing you touched on, a really key distinction I want to make is like crypto gives you the power to use self-custody. It doesn't mean you have to use it all of the time, right? Just having the ability to withdraw your assets from a custodial or centralized platform can be enough, but you need to be ready, right? In case you need to withdraw, you need to have a safe wallet ready that you know how to use. And it's why I think Argent Wallet is one of the first products or user experiences I've really felt comfortable recommending to kind of friends and family that are not, all in crypto. Just being able to download a wallet on your phone, being able to have the social recovery feature critically, really makes me feel more comfortable and them feel more comfortable in being able to kind of take on the responsibility of self-custody. But let's move forward. A bit more broadly on the Argent mission. I mean, I think, what is the Argent mission first, and kind of how long has Argent been at it?
Yeah, so as basically what Argent wants to do is to bring the benefits of Web3 and crypto to that very famous next billion users everybody's talking about, right? So that would be the mission. But as I said, we got used as power user to the bad user experience you can have, and the reality is that's not how you bring the next billion user. And so Argent, to define what we do, what we are is a smart wallet that leverages account abstraction to solve all these issues with UX, and basically to try to bring that Web2 UX to Web3, so that users could have a seamless path and a seamless journey going from Web2 to Web3. And so we have been. I joined the company only 3 months ago, but Argent has been working on this mission for I think 4 years now. That's something I need to double check. At the beginning, we only had a wallet on Ethereum on layer 1, and very soon the founders noticed and realized that the gas fees on Ethereum were not sustainable, and so that the future was actually layer 2s, and more specifically ZK rollups, which is the choice that we made.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, just let's talk now actually about which chains Argent is available on. I think you guys began with Ethereum mainnet, like many, and then when Index partnered up with Argent, you guys were available on ZK Sync Lite. It was just called ZK Sync at the time, and we were really excited to be able to offer all of our products there. And I think a critical feature really was the fiat to ZK Sync on ramp. At this time, it was pretty uncommon for any fiat on ramp to be able to go directly to layer 2, from your bank account directly into depositing funds into layer 2. Ethereum gas costs were quite high at the time. I think it was, over a year ago, say last spring. And of course, Ethereum gas costs are high again. So the fiat to layer 2 on ramp is still a killer feature and incredibly important. But what chains does Argent support?
Yeah, so Argent supports, as you mentioned, Ethereum layer 1, where we have a product which we believe is mainly directed towards people who already have quite a high, net worth, simply because the cost of operating on layer 1 is more expensive, and especially if you have a smart account and a smart wallet, because then your account is a smart contract, sorry, and so sending transactions is even a bit more expensive than just sending a normal transaction, and so that's why we have this product on layer 1. But the big bet we make here is layer 2s and ZK rollups. So indeed we have also a wallet on ZK Sync Lite. And now on ZK Sync Era, which just launched a few weeks back, and also a product on Starknet. We make a big bet on Starknet and ZK Sync Era because these are the two only chains where account abstraction is natively embedded in the chain, and so it makes it much easier to use, much more efficient, and much better for dApps as well to build using account abstraction on these chains. And because we are so convinced that account abstraction is going to change the way we interact with dApps and we interact with blockchain, we want to be present on the chains that make the same bet as us and that choose for account abstraction.
Excellent. Yeah, we really looking forward to more users moving over to ZK Sync Era, and more account abstraction being enabled. I think one of the killer features that we've really been looking for a while that hasn't been possible is the ability for users to dollar cost average into our products without having to come sign a transaction, every time the week or month hits. So really looking forward to the continued development there.
Yeah, I mean, once your account is a smart account or a smart contract, everything is possible, right? You can basically code anything you want in your account. And so all these new capabilities, they will arrive. ZK Sync era and Starknet are still very young chains. They're still in alpha, still being built. There is still a lot to do, but this reality is going to become possible. Yes.
Excellent. Moving on to the Index Co-op mission. We're on a mission to build the best tools for accessing the risks and returns of digital assets. So for us, it's all about simplifying the best of DeFi into easy to use tokens. So we began in October of 2020, our first product. It all began with the DeFi Pulse Index, which took a concept that was very popular in TradFi and index strategy. So we took, at the time, this was the end of DeFi summer in 2020. DeFi was the top theme or use case on Ethereum. So we bundled up all of the top products in DeFi and put them in a market cap weighted index. Moved on to index some other sectors. The metaverse index would be, the next big theme that really popped. And then we've progressed to building leverage tokens and yield-bearing products like ICETH is now our most popular token by market cap. And that simplifies a complicated leverage staking strategy by taking Lido's liquid staked ETH, the staked ETH token, using Aave's money market, leveraging all that up, and packaging it into a simple token called ICETH that you can buy. All of these products now are available on Argent Wallet through just a few taps on your phone. You can get the power of the best strategies in DeFi by just buying and holding simple index tokens that have very low fees. So, broadly with, trying to build the best tools for accessing the risks and returns of digital assets, it's super, super important for us to meet our customers where they are, to give them options like Argent Wallet. Again, a few taps on your phone to access these strategies. And we also have, kind of branched out to offer our products on more custodial platforms as well, because not everyone is ready to take the leap into full self-custody or wants to use it all the time, as I mentioned earlier. So you can also access our products through custodians like BitGo, Coinbase Custody, etc. And most recently, something I'm really excited about, we partnered with a CeFi platform called Matrixport that offers ICETH to their custodial customers and their own earn program. So it's the first CeFi platform to actually use DeFi on the back end to power their earn program. I think a lot of the problems we saw last year were with CeFi platforms like Celsius, BlockFi, etc. They're offering yield to their users, but the only way they're able to get that yield was by rehypothecating customer assets into kind of opaque games that a lot of TradFi firms like to play, and then eventually they got caught up in what's the word I'm looking for? Not contango, but the other C word, contagion risk from counterparty risk from other people taking risk with your assets. When you actually use DeFi on the back end, again, you're getting the best of DeFi through our products. The yield sources are transparent. They are held in, even if you're using a custodial platform, the actual yield sources are held in a smart contract. So nobody can just rehypothecate your assets and send them out to some irresponsible actor, and you end up with losing your money. You want to keep those assets in a transparent smart contract that is immutable, so your money cannot be messed with. So those are the venues that Index Co-op products are available today. If you haven't tried it yet, definitely recommend the Argent Wallet. And obviously, we'll get into a little bit more of how we partner up together. The partnership handshake, what it enables. I've got some visuals on the next slide here. So Antoine, maybe kind of talk through what are these screens here within the Argent app I'm seeing? Index products, obviously, these crypto indexes are available in this Invest tab, but what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so as you said, the index products are very easy to access in the Argent app, and the Argent app is actually itself very easy to access. So maybe if we just take a step back here, if you don't have the app already, just go to argent.xyz, and there you'll see it's very easy. You can scan a QR code and automatically be downloading the app, and then you register with your email, and you get access to that app. So yeah, these are the invest products that we offer on ZK Sync Lite at the moment. Hopefully, at some point, we will offer them on ZK Sync Era as well, right? As I said, this is still a network under construction, but in the future, this will be possible as well. And so we have different crypto indexes that are offered by Index Coop, but also some earnings that are possible on the tokens that you hold in your wallets. So that's going to be USDC, ETH, and DAI mainly. So as you see, once you have purchased ETH, you simply, with a one tap, get access to different strategies. So you have, yield optimized ETH, simple staking, bear staking, diversified staking, and there is also, as you said, Ice ETH, which is a very popular product that we have that we offer to our users. So it's very easy, as you see, the UI is very clean, very lean as well. Very, very, very streamlined. So I would just tell people to try it, go for it, and you have access to all these DeFi products in a very easy way. I think it's also part of what we want to do. We want to make sure that a large portion of people and the mainstream people can also access these DeFi products in an easy way. They don't need to go to specific websites where everything looks complicated, where you have to borrow stuff. You basically need to know about finance in order to use most of DeFi websites, and in there everything is made simple for you, and you have access to these strategies which are offered by professionals who make sure everything is running well.
Yeah, I think this to me is kind of what the future of finance should look like. Anywhere where you hold your assets, even thinking of like a Cash App or a Venmo or a PayPal balance, something like that. Index Coop products can be plugged in to any platform like that and allow people to earn some yield on their assets. I think the world today, if you're interested in crypto and investing in crypto, you probably are worried about your dollars or your fiat losing purchasing power. We need to enable yield-bearing strategies everywhere to everyone that has assets in all sorts of platforms. I'm a big fan of the way Argent set up the UX here, just reminding people that you can earn on the assets that you hold. It really changes the math on investing in ETH or holding ETH when you can stake it and earn a quality yield. Again, I mean, obviously the products that we most promote here at Index, we have the diversified staked ETH product that you can see on the screen on the right there. And then just below that would be the interest compounding ETH or the leverage stake product, which can raise your yield up even higher by maximizing exposure to staked ETH. But just on that Invest tab, the crypto indexes button you see on the left side of the screen there, you can get all of the Index Co-op products are available from that screen. And of course, the yield-bearing ones are in that earn section as well. Yeah, let's talk about the popularity of the different earn categories on Argent. I'll pull that same screenshot back up here. So the main assets that you guys have enabled here: ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, and then some stable coins. Antoine, can you talk a little bit about kind of what are the most popular categories? What are people earning on? You guys are obviously able to see kind of some of the data on the back end. What are people most excited about?
Yeah, so I mean the biggest holding, which is not a surprise, is ETH. So most people, in terms of TVL, have ETH in their wallet, right? But then in the top 5 of our holding, 3 of them are indeed earn products. So that really shows that users want to find a way to they don't want to have just ETH that is sleeping there in their wallet. They want to get money for having that ETH there. So I think that's very good. So just I have a few numbers here. Let me just take them.
Sure.
Yeah, so in terms of TVL, as I said, number one is ETH. Then we have staked ETH, which makes sense. And then the third one is ICE ETH from Index, so leverage staking. So I would say it's a good measure of the risk that people take. So first they just want to have ETH, then they stake it, and then they want even more for it, and they go for the leverage staking product.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's really noticeable about looking at this screenshot, the difference between ETH and Bitcoin in terms of on what yield you can get on it. Obviously, just the nature of Bitcoin as an asset, to even have any sort of yield earning opportunity, you've got to wrap it and bridge it over to Ethereum to be used in DeFi. It is still a relatively popular collateral. So you can earn some yield on it. But ETH, I mean, allowing ETH to be staked and having just a native kind of baseline yield of around 4% and change. And then you can get even higher by leverage staking, or you can diversify your staked ETH with DSETH, of course. Makes it really an exciting asset, and I'm not surprised that's the most popular one by a long shot. Also, there's kind of just some inherent favoritism or like bias by the people that use DeFi are on the Ethereum network. Of course, they're going to be most interested in ETH. We've got a question here in the chat from Greg about liquidity. Would I be able to comment on what happens when it comes time to sell tokens like ICETH and DSETH? Yeah, absolutely. So if you're in the Argent UI here, you're probably on ZK Sync Lite, right? So our products, ICETH and DSETH, are native to mainnet. That's where the issuance contracts are. So if you're on mainnet, you can mint or redeem these products without having to worry about secondary liquidity whatsoever. Right? Our products are permissionlessly redeemable for the underlying assets. So they always trade in line with the net asset value, because arbitrageurs can always take advantage of that spread and close the spread for you and make the spot price trade in line with NAV, like I said. When you're on ZK Sync Lite, we are trading on an exchange, a DEX called Zigzag. It's an order book exchange. So market makers have to mint the ICETH or DSETH from mainnet, bridge it over to ZK Sync Lite, and you deposit it into that order book so people can trade back and forth. So at any given time, there's typically something around like 10 ETH of liquidity for the product. And when it gets all sold out, you got to wait for the market maker to bridge back over additional inventory so you can trade. So at max, you're waiting a few hours for it to be restocked. If you're trading anything under 10 ETH, you can just kind of wait and trade as the supply becomes available. And if you have a larger position and you want to get in or out more quickly, you can bridge back to mainnet and mint or redeem using app.indexcoop.com. Our own app allows that, like I said, permissionless redemption for the underlying assets. And you can just redeem directly from ICETH or DSETH into ETH using our app. So to summarize, if you're under 10 ETH trade size, wait for market makers to restock. If you really want to get out or you have a larger position, you can bridge to mainnet and redeem. But given, again, the kind of maybe the most critical point is that our products always trade in line with net asset value. So, don't panic if there's not liquidity on ZK Sync in one time. It's not like the value of the token you're holding is really affected by that. It's going to hold its value. You can feel comfortable holding, and you always have a route out if you need to bridge to mainnet and redeem. Steps through how ICETH works. So, I mean, again, going back to this screen, all you got to do is, if you already have ETH, you'll see this like Earn on ETH button. Click here and then scroll down to the bottom of the Earn on ETH section. ICETH at the bottom because it has the highest yield on ETH. Or if you don't have any ETH yet, I think you can go straight into buying some crypto first. You can buy ETH or stablecoins through that buy crypto button, and then you go into trade crypto, and you can go find ICETH there. All right. Greg says we answered his question. That's great. And then we step through how ICETH works quickly. And we've got some more interesting slides towards the back. Guys, stay tuned. we have some waitlist spots to give away for Argent's ZK Sync era. Antoine, you guys have a ton of signups for the ZK Sync era waitlist. What's that all about?
Yeah, so like I said, Era is still very young, and the product we have on Era is live already, but we don't want to have too many people, too many users flooding it at once. We want to make sure everything's working well. And we also had to have smart contracts audited. So we basically have a wait list of 300,000 people who want to join Era and want to join, Argent on Era. And so, yeah, today we can offer 5, I would say, skip the line tickets for users who would be interested to directly have access to Argent on Era. It's on the same app, so you will simply have, a new blockchain that will be added there. Not only Ethereum Layer 1 and ZK Sync Lite, you will then have ZK Sync Era as well in early access.
Awesome. Yeah. So how do you guys choose which chains to enable? ZK Sync has always been kind of at the front of your minds, and I think you said Starkware or Starknet as well. What do you guys look for in evaluating chains? Is there something like missing or that didn't meet the requirements from like Optimism or Arbitrum, some of these optimistic rollups, or is it just you don't want to dilute the focus of the team? You're focused on knocking these out of the park.
No, yeah, I mean, as I already hinted, the main point here is that we bet on account abstraction, and these two chains are the only ones that have native account abstraction, which has which has a big meaning, of course. On Starknet, to give you an idea, on Starknet, all wallets are smart accounts and smart contracts wallets. You don't have what is called an EOA, so externally owned accounts anymore. You don't have MetaMask on Starknet. On ZK Sync Era, the approach is a bit hybrid. You can still have a MetaMask, an externally owned account, but they are at par with the smart accounts. So basically, the transaction flow is the same for smart accounts and for EOAs, which makes it much more easy for dApps to build with account abstraction in mind, to build the experience that users deserve. That is, multi-call, that is session keys, social recovery, paymasters, all these examples. And so that's really why we went with Era and Starknet. And so, for those who don't know, ZK Sync Era is built by a company which is called Matter Labs, and Matter Labs is very aware of the importance of account abstraction and is very pushy towards dApps and the whole ecosystem to really make people understand how important it is. So that's the main criteria, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Account abstraction, very exciting. Again, the Argent team has been thinking about this deeply for a long time. I think you guys are like probably the most requested guest anytime someone wants to talk about account abstraction and zero knowledge proofs. So if you want to learn more about what that's all about, I recommend just going into YouTube, type in account abstraction Argent. There have been a lot of panels with the founders of Argent at various conferences. And again, you're like the most requested team aside from perhaps the teams building the zero knowledge rollups themselves.
Yeah, actually, Julien, one of the co-founders, has written a blog article which is very well done in 3 parts that really explains easily. And it's very easy to understand what is account abstraction, why it matters. So I would just encourage everybody to go to Google and type "what the fuck WTF is account abstraction." It's very easy to find. It's kind of a reference in the field. So please go have a look and do your own research.
Yeah, I Googled it and found it just now. Put the link in the chat. So can confirm. WTF is account abstraction Argent. Part 1's in the chat, and you guys can find part 2 and part 3 if it tickles your fancy. Next thing I want to talk about is the Index Insiders program. We have a program for our top users to get a little bit closer to Index, to to get a little peek behind the scenes, interact with our product team, give feedback on upcoming products, get the first ones to receive any news about the roadmap, about what's coming down the pipe. The Insiders program has been available for a few months to people who hold $10,000 or the equivalent of any one of our index products. And we want to open up this program to folks who are holding our products within the Argent Wallet, because they've been such a great distribution partner. Again, like a number of our products are extremely popular within Argent Wallet on Zk Sync Lite, especially. So we want to lower the threshold from $10,000 down to $1,000. If you hold $1,000 worth of any index co-op product, again, that's ICETH, that's DSETH, that's DPI, that's MVI, any one of those products, hop into the Index Coop Discord. Discord.gg/indexcoop is the link. It's in the chat here. You can find it in our link tree if you go to the Index Co-op Twitter account. Hop into the Discord, go into the Index Insiders or Index Members channel, Index Insiders members, and our team will be able to verify your wallet. If you're holding our products, we would love to have you join the Index Insiders program, again, to get news, to get product feedback, but also to get index NFTs. We have some of these coming down the pipe with a great team called Hedgie Finance. And they are going to have some index tokens locked within the NFT themselves. So if you hold index co-op products, if you want to hold index co-op products, there's no backwards timestamp. If you want to buy them today or tomorrow, you can still join. We'd love to have you in our Insiders community and give you one of these slick NFTs. Not out yet, but we'll be dropping very soon. We've been working really hard on these. We're happy with the design, the visual design, and the technical design. I think we're really excited to have index locked within the NFTs, potentially for them to be dynamic and change based on all sort of different circumstances. A lot of ideas that we're playing with. And a question from Greg here. If you hold more than $1,000, but it's across separate index co-op tokens or products, does that still count? Yes, absolutely. This is in total. If you want to hold a little bit of ICETH, get your leverage staking on, but also hold a little bit of DSETH, absolutely, we'll add all of them up for you. Hop on into our Discord and verify yourself into the Insiders channel. Boom. No such thing as a stupid question. Happy to take any more questions we have from the chat. But actually, Antoine, you guys have NFTs over at Argent. How much do you guys interact with that scene?
Yeah, so I mean, we actually launched a NFT collection. It's launched at the moment. It's live on Starknet. So not yet on ZK Sync era, but that might come as well. And well, basically, the idea is to guide users, help them go through the dApps in the ecosystem, try these dApps by themselves, see how they works, and we want to reward them with an NFT.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember seeing all of the tweets about that now that you mention it. Really cool graphics. You guys
actually one of them is just behind me there. Very high quality NFTs.
Yeah, really cool. I tried to be on theme with my orange accent lights as well, but it's not quite as cool as yours.
It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so again, guys, Index Insiders is now open. If you're watching the stream, it's live now. Go ahead and hop in to our Discord. Again, discord.gg/indexcoop. Put the link in the chat there again one more time. And then hop into the Index Members Welcome channel. There's some instructions on how to verify. You're going to submit an application form through Typeform. Let us know what address you're holding the products in. And we will get you verified if you have our products and let you join the Index Insiders program.
Cruz, there is just a question I would like to address. I see there in the chat. It's coming from LinkedIn from Vitanis. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing this right. So he's saying, so you're not in self-custody and you're doing DeFi. I just want to make very clear that Argent is a self-custodian wallet, right? So Argent does not have access to your tokens, does not have access to your key. So it's completely self-custodian.
Yeah, absolutely. Great distinction. And I'll add for Index, we don't have access to your assets either. They're in the smart contract when they're within our product, and you can always redeem them, redeem the product for the underlying assets. We have no control over your tokens. You can do whatever you like with them. And like we mentioned, you can keep them in a self-custodial wallet. You can deposit them into a custodian. You can deposit them into whichever DeFi protocol you use. And you keep all of the composability of DeFi.
Hey guys, I had one quick question. I hope you don't mind me jumping in and asking. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much. So my question is basically off the back of something you mentioned, Cruz, about feeling comfortable recommending Argent Wallet to family and friends. And I was just wondering for Antoine, how do you, because I've been in this position myself, how do you explain to somebody who mightn't have the technical knowledge to understand account abstraction or smart contracts that they can retain full self-custody and get full access to DeFi and not have to worry about their keys or their seed phrase? I'm just wondering how you do that.
Yeah, so it's very complex. As I said, we have seen what happened with Ledger, because we have been so used to seed phrases that we have the feeling that without a seed phrase there is actually an issue, and we are not owner of our tokens and of our keys, right? So it's indeed difficult. Then it depends who you're talking to, right? If it's a newcomer to the space, it's much easier to tell that person, okay, look how you get onboarded to Argent. It's very easy. That's that money is yours. These are your tokens. You can transfer them whenever you want. You can recover them whenever you want. Nobody can touch them. And if you have an issue and you need to recover, then you have guardians, and you use social recovery, and it can be a friend, it can be family. It can be you having a hardware wallet on the side that you use to sign a transaction to recover your account. But what is important is that the guardians don't have access to your tokens, right? The only thing they can do is basically sign a transaction to help you recover your account. So these people, it's much easier actually to onboard them this way, the newcomers, than telling them that they need to hold the seed phrase somewhere. And then yes, there is the OGs, the power users like you that are used to seed phrases. It's much more complicated. I think if you don't research yourself, it's difficult, and at some point you need to trust also what's what is being said and what is being told to you. That's also what we can learn from Ledger, right? Most people don't have the technical knowledge to understand how a hardware wallet works, and everybody was convinced that the seed phrase could never leave the hardware wallet, right? Which we now notice that is not the case, and has probably never been the case, right? So yeah, it's pretty challenging. I think what is important to tell these people is that, what people have to understand is that the account is a smart contract. So you can code some logic into it, and that's how it makes it possible to get rid of a seed phrase.
Yeah, I think just slightly continuing on the social recovery, how exactly, not technical, but you split your seed phrase or allow a few people to help you recover it. How many guardians do you have to pick? Who should you pick for the guardians?
Yeah, so it depends. So the way Argent works is a bit like a 2 out of 2 multisig. So basically, as a user, you have the wallet on your phone. That's one signer. Then Argent will be a signer as well on the signer will be the backend of Argent actually, and then you can choose one or more additional guardians. So it's up to you. It can be a friend, It can be, I mean, someone you trust. It can be different people you trust. You can decide that these people actually don't know each other. If you want, more safety, make sure they won't collude against you. Even though there are many things that are put in place to make sure that the signers and the guardians by themselves are not able to recover your wallet if you don't want to. So you have, as the user, you have to trigger that. But it can also be a hardware wallet. I think that's a very good option. You have your own hardware wallet. You have a seed phrase that goes with that. And when you need to recover your Argent wallet, you will need to sign a transaction with that hardware wallet. But in the hardware wallet, you don't have any tokens, right? It's not keeping any of your tokens. The only thing it can do is sign a transaction to trigger your recovery. And so, if you lose the seed phrase, it's not a big deal. If somebody else finds the seed phrase, it's not a big deal either. They can't do anything with it. They can't access your funds. All they can do is, approve basically your recovery. So, I mean, it depends. I would say you don't need too many of them. If you are, I don't know, you have a lot of money on your account and you want to make sure you can have 5 of them.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think so conceptually, you've got Argent is a smart contract wallet, a hot wallet on your phone, and maybe you have a hardware wallet that you use as cold storage. You can have one guardian there, and then one more guardian send it to either your dad or your son, or a coworker, and you're much more protected than if you were just keeping a seed phrase yourself.
Yeah, and you also have the power to revoke these guardians or to add new guardians. So I don't know if you get mad with your dad and you don't want him to be your guardian anymore. You can also revoke him without problem.
Father's Day is coming up, Antoine. Come on, we don't want to revoke it right now. All right, man. Thank you so much to Antoine and the Argent team for coming on today. And even more so, thank you for building what you've built. An amazing wallet that continues to get better and further the index co-op mission and DeFi's broadly.
Yeah, so I'm very looking forward to what we can build on ZK Sync era, which will bring an even better experience than what we have now on Lite. And we'll be very happy to keep the partnership going and keep providing our users the best products possible in the easiest way possible.
Excellent. Similar to our mission as well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Again, one thing we announced during the stream was lowering the threshold to join our Index Insiders program. From $10,000 of index products to $1,000 of index products. And if you're holding index products within the Argent wallet, we can verify you as well. So hop into the Index Discord. We have some NFTs dropping soon for insiders that have index locked within the NFTs. You're not going to want to miss out on that. And if you're watching this from a different wallet or distribution partner, if you're already offering index co-op products, perhaps we could have you on one of these calls in the future. We're going to do these monthly. So reach out to me at the Young Cruise. You can slide into my DMs. Or if you really want to learn more about kind of our distribution partnership program, you can email rsp@indexcoop.com as well. If you prefer to converse over email rather than in Twitter DMs like most folks on crypto Twitter do. All right. I think that's it. Good day, everybody. Going to end the stream.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.